Next, we're going to talk about a very cool feature called SmartArt. I'm going to do it on this blank slide that we have right here. Now you can get to SmartArt in two ways. When I've got a slide like this with buttons, it's this button right here that looks kind of like an organizational chart. If I don't have that, or if I don't want to click that, I can go right here to the SmartArt section of the ribbon. Now, clicking this button actually takes you directly to the SmartArt section of the ribbon, so they're really going to end up in the same place either way. SmartArt is basically pre-laid out and adapting graphics for certain types of relationships. Now, that may sound a little confusing, and I'm going to give you an example, but some of the things you might use SmartArt for are, for example, a food pyramid, or an organizational chart of where you work, or a family tree. And you can see you've got all these things like lists, and here's a bunch of different SmartArt themes for lists, processes, so ways things move from one to another, cycles, hierarchy, relationships, pictures, and then other. Lots of different types of SmartArt. The example I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do a cycle. So I'm going to just select that, and I'm going to click this first one right here, the basic cycle. Now, you'll see that it's given me this template that's got 5 circles with an arrow going to each of the circles, and then I've got this little black text pane that popped out to the left. I can close this text pane anytime by clicking that little X, and it'll just kind of suck into that little icon right there. If I need it back, I just select my SmartArt and then click that icon, and back it comes. What we're going to do is we're going to do the seasons. So I'm just going to label that top box, and I'm going to say the seasons. Now, I'm going to go back to my SmartArt, and I'm going to select the first one, and I can add, you'll notice when I select this circle, it's also highlighted this particular top line in my text pane. That's because this text is this circle. So I could do it right here. We'll just write summer, and you'll see it automatically put it on there, and it put it over here. The next one I'm just going to do over here. So I selected it in the text pane. I can see that it's selected my next circle, and I'm going to say fall. And the next one will say winter, and the next one will say is spring. Now, obviously I have 4 seasons and 5 circles, so I don't need one of these circles. At the top of my text pane, I have a little thing with a green plus sign and a red minus sign. That adds or deletes circles. So if I hit the green plus sign a couple times, you'll see that it's going to add additional lines here, which adds additional circles. Or I can delete those until I'm back to just 4 circles. Next to that, I have the ability to give it change its hierarchy. Okay, so that's this right here, this right arrow and this left arrow. If I choose the right arrow under spring, notice that it indented spring, and spring is now a bullet on the winter circle. It basically makes it subjugate to the one above it. And I'm going to click the left arrow to bring it back out and make it its own circle again. And then these green up and down arrows just move their order in the line, so I can just click that and you'll see the spring actually goes before winter now, or down puts spring after winter. Okay, so the text pane is how I can kind of organize how my labeling is going out on the objects themselves. Now that I've got that the way I want it, I have a lot of control out here as well. Maybe I want to move this circle so it's up in the upper right. Well, watch what happens when I move it over there. These arrows automatically adjust to maintain the intended relationship. This circle was supposed to point to this one, and that one's supposed to point to the one on the bottom. So the arrows are going to adjust in order to still have that same result, no matter where I put them. Okay. Now I also have the ability to do a lot of adjusting with what the shape is right here, the color. I've got some different themes, so I can click right here and say that I want different effects on it. This looks kind of like a button, or this one, we'll go ahead and use that one there. I can click on Format to the right of SmartArt, which only appears when my SmartArt is selected. You'll see if I unselect it, I don't have the Format one. Select it, and there's Format. And in there, I've got the ability to add different text effects, to make it somewhat transparent, to make it different colors. This is the color of the object or the color of the line. All sorts of things that I can do, including manually adjusting the size to make this look exactly the way I want. So that's SmartArt, and it's an extremely powerful way to very quickly create good-looking graphics that demonstrate relationships in your presentation.